Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Cool. Okay, thank you, Viv. So, as Viv mentioned, I wrote this book. It's called Be a Mensch, Unleash Your Power to Be Kind and Help Others. So, new? What's a mensch, you may ask, right? So, the first thing I thought I would do is I may read just a little bit from the book, a couple pages. So, first things first, what in the world is a mensch? Transliterated in English as mensch or mensch with a T in the middle. It is a word with Yiddish origins meaning an honorable, decent person, a genuinely good person, an authentic person, a person who helps you when you need help. You don't have to be Jewish to be a mensch. You can practice any religion and come from any culture and be a mensch. It isn't gender specific, so you can identify however you do and be a mensch. It is bipartisan. It's good. I live in the US anyhow. It is bipartisan, so you can identify with any political party and still be a mensch. Pretty cool. I guess most people reading this book, and I'll paraphrase, and who are here right now, are already doing mensch-like things. I will show you, however, how to be an even better mensch in your daily life. We certainly don't want to be considered a putz or a schmuck. Both words, putz and schmuck, literally mean a penis in Yiddish. But people typically don't use these words to call someone, but people typically use these words to call someone a jerk, not usually directly calling them a penis. We all have moments. I didn't pass that off with you, Viv, but I figured you read the book. It was okay to say that. Okay. We all have moments when we say something we regret, overreact, and yeah, act like a putz to someone. But overall, it's not our modus operandi. Most of us have good intentions, but what good are they if we don't get off our tuchus and actually do something? Sitting there thinking, I feel so bad for her that her father just died, instead of maybe sending her a text? Would that be so hard to do? Actually, yes. It may well be hard and uncomfortable. And that's what I'm going to talk about. We have so much potential to impact others in a positive way. There are literally tons of moments every day where we can make a difference, but if we aren't watching out for them, they're easily missed. And, I'm going to focus today on talking for a few minutes and then engaging with you guys about why do we hesitate to reach out? Now, if it's your close friend or family member, you're there, chick chuck, immediately. But what if it's an acquaintance? What if it's someone that you see only occasionally? Let's all suspend reality a little bit pre-COVID, okay? Let's just suspend reality and we'll just say that now. So, what if it's somebody that you see every Christmas, every Easter, every Passover, that you see who's your friend's friend? When they lose someone, they lose a job, there's an illness in the family, or there's a death in the family, and you immediately want to reach out. Many of us in some situations will think, well, they have other people that are closer to them. I don't want to bother them. They have so much going on. It's going to be too weird. You know, that's natural to feel that way. But really, guys, like, what is the worst thing that can happen if you send a card, if you pick up the phone a couple weeks later, if you do something? Nothing. Gunisht is what we say in Yiddish. Nothing. I promise you, nothing bad will happen. The worst thing that's going to happen is, and I talked to lots of people when I did research for my website and for my book, is the worst thing that happens is when someone you're grieving, you're experiencing a difficulty in your family, and someone doesn't reach out. That's worse. And what people say, and when I've interviewed many people, they say is that when they, after a loss of a family member, the people who were close to them stepped up and they really appreciated it. But the moments that stuck out always is that friend from childhood who they didn't even know how they heard the news, who reached out to them when they looked up and they saw the parent from their kids' hockey team there in the line to come and greet them. Those are the moments. So it's always uncomfortable. It's always, always, always uncomfortable. Okay, but you can do it, and you can get over yourself and reach out. So I'm going to share just two stories. Okay, the first one is a time when I hesitated and how I felt about this. So it was a couple of years ago, and I live in New Jersey in the United States, and my whole family, the ganze Mishpacha, everybody lives in Toronto. Okay. And the one pilgrimage we make across the border north is for Passover. We always one of the pilgrimages. That's when I can like convince my kids to come. So every Passover, we have the first night with my husband's side of the family. And that is the only time once a year that I see my husband's aunt's sister and her family. I have seen her boys grow up from little boys to strapping young men, amazing kids. I see them every year, and they always sort of like have these name tags and seat us together. So, but I only see them then. So 2 years ago, or maybe it was 3 years ago now, COVID has messed up all my timing. I'm sorry. Um, we're at Passover in April, and I knew that the husband, I'll say his name, Shale, was had cancer, but he came to the Seder, which is our festive meal. And as usual, we sat together. He asked me about work. We talked about everything, just like we always did. A month later, I heard through our cousins that their uncle had passed away, and I felt terrible. And if I was in Toronto, I would have gone and I would have paid my respects, but I was in New Jersey. I was going to send a donation. I was going to write a card to Marla, who again, I've seen every single year, and she's family of family. But I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't do this. And I kept on thinking about it. I'm going to send a memorial donation. That's what I'm going to do. And then it slipped my mind. What happens? The next year, Passover is coming again. That thing comes every year. And it's Passover again. And we're about to pack the car and go to Toronto. Like I'm thinking about this in my head. And I'm starting to schwitz and I'm starting to sweat. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to see them. Marla and the two boys. What am I going to do? Pretend that it didn't happen? Like not notice that he's not sitting in front of me? What am I going to do? So thought, okay, I'm just going to do it. I Googled the obituary because I'm not going to call my cousins and everybody to like admit to everybody I was such a schmuck, right? So I Googled the obituary. I found out where they wanted memorial donations to be made. This is very easy to do, everybody on the Google. And I sent a donation. Go for the Seder, said hi to them. How are you doing? How is everything going? Caught up with them. The boys are in university. Did she mention to me that she got this donation? No. Did she have to? No. But it was a normal conversation and I felt better. But I hesitated for 11 months, maybe 10 months, 9 months. Again, all messed up. That's one example. Let me tell you another example. Here's another story. Okay, so my friend Liz is on here, so she could probably correct the timing, but we'll suspend all the little nitty pitty things about here. So I moved a few years, 4 years ago, I moved back from Singapore. I was living in Singapore as part of this other life that I had. And I moved into this wonderful neighborhood, okay? And I'm starting to get to know the neighbors. This little group of neighbors were very, very close. And every day as I'm like making my coffee in the morning, I see a couple of these families, and one in particular, her name is Anne, walk with her two little munchkins to the bus stop, which is right at the corner of my house, from my house. So I'm not really like spying, I'm just kind of like looking, whatever. And I see them every morning. And she's really nice and lovely. We're not close friends. I just moved into the neighborhood, but I just really, really like her. Well, my friend Liz, who is much better friends with her, I'm very close friends with her, messages our little group of neighbors. Her brother, at a very young age, had a brain trauma, and he was in the hospital. And she has little kids and has all this going on. I'm like, oh my God! Immediate reaction: I want to go do something. I want to bring over my chicken soup. Of course I do. But then I'm starting to think to myself, it's going to be weird. I don't want to intrude. That was the biggest one for me in this situation. I didn't want to bug her. I didn't want to intrude. So I had a plan. My plan was ding and dash. Now I know about ding and dash because Anne's very son ding and dashed my house. He taught me how to do this. You ding, you drop, you run. So I go up to the house. I'm literally stressed out. It is wintertime, so chicken soup is appropriate. Of course, I have a stash in my freezer. I bring it over frozen because I'm not sure exactly when she's going to want to use it, but like I would tell her how to warm it up. She would know. Ring the doorbell, take a deep breath, literally 1 foot on the step, 1 foot ready to run away. Ring the doorbell with like this, And she opens and she looked at me and I said, I just brought you chicken soup, but I'm going to go like really fast. She said, Elisa, do you want to just talk? You can come in. I don't want to bother you. Her mom was there. We talked just a few minutes because then I also, knew that I was supposed to leave. So there's an example where I was very uncomfortable. I was very nervous, but I made myself do it. And, you know, I hope I made her feel better, but it was really about me, guys. Like I felt really good and I felt better. So that did that. So those are a couple of examples. So before we get into me asking you guys a question, I just want to leave you with one thing. It's going to be a few sentences though. So all these situations are uncomfortable. Yes, they're uncomfortable. And it's normal for it to be uncomfortable, for you to feel this way and to feel hesitation and to procrastinate when you want to reach out to someone who you're not so close with, or even if you're close with and you don't know what to say and you don't know what to do. It's very natural. But guess what? You're not off the hook. It's never too late. So I wanted to finish with that. So now is the fun part. And I'm going to need Viv's help if I mess up the whiteboard thingy. I want everyone to please close your eyes. Okay. I promise it won't be long. Close your eyes. I'd like you to please think about a time that you hesitated to reach out when you wanted to, but you didn't. Someone you know had a death in the family, an illness, or lost their job. A situation when someone was really struggling. Just think about this. And when we open our eyes, when Viv has it ready, I'd like you to do post-its of why didn't you do anything and how did you feel afterwards when you hesitated? Thank you for sharing. I want you to close your eyes again. Everybody close your eyes. Now think about a time that you acted on your initial inclination to reach out and support someone going through a hard time. Someone passed away, someone was ill, someone lost a job, just someone was in need. Could be someone who was an acquaintance, someone in your community who you didn't know, who you do know. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Jamboard and we're going to write down, I want everybody to write down, how did you feel after you acted on your first inclination to reach out and do something? And it could be anything. It could be sending a card, giving a smile, a hug in the old days, anything. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing. Let's close our eyes one more time. Okay, one more time. Now that you've thought about this, what is something that you're going to do different today, tomorrow, the next week, the next time you encounter an opportunity and your eyes are open and you see an opportunity? What's something that you're going to do differently? Okay, so let's go to the Jamboard. So thank you everyone for sharing. And I just want to end with, you are all Mensches, you're all here. And it's just about, being brave more often, being open to different situations, wearing your mensch hat. And I'll just end with you're not off the hook. So thank you.